The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
It got ugly at times, but the Las Vegas Raiders' 34-30 win over the Carolina Panthers was a beautiful win. It was beautiful because they are 1-0. You can't get any better than starting the season 1-0, right? Well, actually you can by going 2-0, and the Raiders can do that by beating the Saints on Monday Night Football. But beating the Saints is no easy task. They are a talented team that has been Super Bowl contenders for the last few years. As a matter of fact, there are quite a few that have the Saints favored to go to and win the Super Bowl this year. So this is quite a test for a young but talented Raider football team. So do the Raiders have a chance to win the game? Of course they do. They're playing, aren't they? Anytime you play, you have a chance to win, especially when you're playing at home. There are just a few things that the Raiders are going to have to do well, or a few matchups that the Raiders are going to have to win on Monday. And you can look for yourself to see what the odds are of those things happening. Let's jump right in, shall we? The Saints have a good run defense that hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher in a long time. And Ronald Jones had tough sledding at times in there with them last week. But Ronald Jones kept going at him when his number was called. And he actually had a little bit of success. While Leonard Fournette, who just came to the team, isn't quite ready yet, Jones did quite well for himself. He caught a couple of passes out of the backfield as well. He had 82 total yards on the day. But the Raiders are bringing the biggest offensive line in football and running back Josh Jacobs, who's not easy to bring down. He can go from the eye, the single back, or even the shotgun. And he can go outside or inside. Against the Panthers in Week 1, he had 25 carries for 93 yards. And not one, not two, but 3 rushing touchdowns. He also showed off the work he's been doing on his route running this offseason. Oh, and that was Shaq Thompson, an excellent coverage linebacker. The Saints D-line had quarterback Tom Brady shook up in Week 1. Defensive end Trey Hendrickson's going to force the intentional grounding here. Linebacker Demario Davis got into the act with the sack on a blitz. And left tackle Donovan Smith got abused. This time by defensive end Carl Granderson. And that time by Hendrickson again. I don't know how much pressure you think Brady was under by Cameron Jordan here, but to me it's just a bad throw. And here, Brady's pass is going to get jumped for a pick 6. On the day, Brady was 23 of 36 for 239 yards and 2 touchdowns to go with those 2 interceptions. Meanwhile, Carr benefited from the protection of left tackle Colton Miller, He was often matched up on 2019 first-round pick Brian Burns. And Miller shut Burns down, so quarterback Derek Carr had time to throw the ball downfield. Burns only had one pressure on the day, and Miller only gave up one pressure on the day. Here, Miller's going to block two people for Carr, and the Raiders get a pass interference out of it. Here, Miller has Burns coming from way outside, and the Raiders get another PI out of it. Let me end this one on Miller getting a pancake in the run game. In the passing game, the Saints can be had deep, especially after play action. Here, Janoris Jenkins is going to get beat deep by Scotty Miller, who runs a 4.39 40. Saints corners have all kinds of problems with speed. Here's Chris Godwin with the deep one. And when Saints corners weren't getting beat deep, they were committing pass interference penalties. I lost track at 3 pass interference penalties on deep balls. He tackled him there. The Saints look susceptible to athletic tight ends as well. Perhaps Brady should have thrown more to O.J. Howard. He did hit him for a touchdown in the red zone off of play action. After the Saints got beat deep and had penalties on deep balls for so long, the underneath routes started opening up. You see how scared they are of Miller now. And the good news is now that they have Henry Ruggs, the Raiders are taking their deep shots now. Just missed on that one. Then on this one, they're going to connect as Darren Waller occupies 2 guys underneath. Here he's coming in jet motion, and they're going to just miss if Ruggs can only get that right foot down. That's 3 deep shots for Ruggs in the first half. They also use Ruggs in the short game. And they gave him jet sweeps. Anything to get the ball in his hands. It looks like Gruden's using him the same way he planned to use Antonio Brown last year. On this tackle, Ruggs would injure his knee and leave the game. He would come back in, but he wouldn't get another target. But the deep shots didn't stop as Nelson Aguilar got in on the act. And that freed up tight end Darren Waller when they needed him. That's good for a 3rd down conversion. And that was for another 1st down on 3rd down. Waller now shares 3rd down with 3rd and Renfro. And they still give him a little something to run after the catch. This is the only target talented rookie Bryan Edwards got, but he is lurking. We'll see how the Saints deal with all that firepower. The Bucs and their pass rush was able to get a little pressure on Drew Brees. tackle for a short gain on a quarterback scrambling is a win for the defense. The Bucs brought guys from the secondary, something Gunther likes to do. And just like he's known to do, Vita Vea got that push in the middle. Watch the Bucs go double A gap here. That's a Paul Gunther staple. But Jason Pierre-Paul would have the Buccaneers' only sack on the day. Speaking of only sacks on the day, Maurice Hurst had that for the Raiders. If the Raiders want to get pressure on that Saints offensive line, he needs to be in the game more. Arden Key needs more snaps too. He's starting to look like the guy I saw a couple of years ago at LSU. Watch the hands here. He won't quite get there, but this is a nice push-pull move on Russell Okung. Max Crosby gets a pressure with no one blocking him here. But he deserves a sack here as he gets held pretty badly. That ref is right there too. Last week for the Raiders it was Christian McCaffrey. This week is Alvin Kamara. It was tough sledding against that Bucs defense last week. The Saints had to go funky on offense at times to get him off. But he did have a touchdown rushing. Watch the twitchiness here. Kamara did his thing in the screen game. And he did his thing deep down the field on a double pass from Jason Hill. When Nick Kwiatkowski was on the field, the Raider run defense only allowed Christian McCaffrey 3.7 yards per carry. Here he's going to partner up with his boy Corey Littleton for a tackle. In safety, Jonathan Abram, who had 13 tackles on the day, joined in on the fun. But when Kwiatkowski went out with a pectoral injury, McCaffrey averaged 4.5 yards per carry. But even as the Panthers got their running game going, they stopped the run when it counted the most. 2019 number 4 overall, Cleveland Ferrell came through on 4th and 1 to ice the game. Catching the ball, McCaffrey was okay with 3 catches for 38 yards. But when Corey Littleton was on him, wasn't too much going on. The Saints have so many weapons that could beat you so many different ways. You already saw Hill with the double pass, now here he is as a quarterback, scrambling. Now he's an H-back and gonna catch one in the flats. One guy the Raiders aren't going to have to worry about is Michael Thomas, one of the best receivers in the game. He's out with a high ankle sprain. But they have Emmanuel Sanders, who scored a touchdown last week. And they have speedy tight end Jared Cook, who used to be a Raider. And they have their sub 4.4 speed guy in Deontay Harris. The Raiders have their work cut out here. And the safety misses too. Arnett will learn. That was his first time being hit with an NFL double move. But for Eric Harris, that's a problem. He jumps short routes for interceptions, but he hasn't proven that he can cover the back end. He's always late and takes the wrong angle to the ball and misses. But slot corner LaMarcus Joyner looks good after playing with an injured groin last year. And when Abram is at single high safety, he stays over the top. Going back to Arnett, he'll make his plays even while learning. Here he saves the touchdown Harris was beaten on. And second-year man Trayvon Mullen has his man on lock. Jacobs could already run the football. But after working on his route running skills this offseason, he's become quite the weapon in the passing game. And Ruggs is on that offense to stretch the defense vertically. On defense, don't worry about Arnett. He will learn and grow every week. Meanwhile, it sure would be nice to see Hurst on the field a lot more. And you gotta love seeing Abram bring it. And there's nothing like the 2019 number 4 overall pick closing the show. The Raiders are going to need that and more when facing Breeze on Monday. Thank you for watching. See you next time.